Welcome to the very first Trekzone conversation for the year. Matt Miller with you at Trekzone HQ. We're kicking off the series of Where Are They Now? Catching up with Star Trek fan filmmakers that have been on the show in the past couple of years. It's been a quiet year 2020 with some kind of pandemic going on. So today I'm very thrilled to welcome my first guest in this little mini-series, Mr. Aaron Vanderkley.
Beaming around the world for over 500 episodes. Now on Facebook Watch, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. This is a Trekzone conversation.
And Aaron, thanks for beaming in today, man. I really appreciate it. You're looking well.
Thank you very much. So do you. You're very well.
The New Year festivities, I think, are sitting, maybe they're about here now.
Yeah, you gotta. New Year's is a tough time, isn't it?
It really
like
is.
You want to feel good and then you feel bad afterwards.
Exactly right. And Christmas as well doesn't help, and you know, just those whole 2 weeks every year, it's just crazy. And what a year 2020 was.
For sure. I've been extremely fortunate this year that I haven't been too badly affected by the coronavirus pandemic, but so many people unfortunately have been. So yeah, it's been a tough one.
2020, man, how was it for you?
I was really fortunate that I wasn't actually too badly affected by the pandemic. I still kept my job after so many people at my job lost theirs. I just carried on working as normal. And life, we're very fortunate in Western Australia. It's probably the safest place in the world at the moment. That life is pretty much normal. You can still go out, still go to clubs, still go to restaurants, still go to the shops. There's not a scarcity of food and supplies and toilet paper. It's been pretty okay. And touch wood, it continues to be okay here.
It's funny, been watching it around the world and looking at how our government handled this crisis, this pandemic, and just how different it was done around the world. A real testament. And I'm no Liberal lover, no Scott Morrison lover, but I tell you what, he did. Him and the state premiers did a brilliant job of keeping many of us safe, and we're able to enjoy what we have now, and I think we had a relatively normal Christmas and New Year break.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think we are so fortunate that we're able to come together and celebrate and see family and be in touch with family, because so many people have, especially in Australia, have families spread across the country. So the fact that people can come together and celebrate and see each other after 6-9 months of being apart is pretty special.
All right, well, the reason that we're doing the Where Are They Now segments this January is all because fan films kind of rightfully took a bit of a back seat in 2020 as people focused on staying safe. But that is by no means a saying that they completely disappeared from people's radar. Gary Davis is coming up in our mini-series. He was releasing some fan films and also having ideas as well. Gary O'Brien in a few weeks, Nick Cook as well. All got ideas bubbling, all got fan films bubbling away. And as I understand it, in a bit of a Trekzone exclusive, you have something bubbling away as well.
I do. So I'm very happy to announce that we'll be doing another 3 Star Trek short films in 2021. We decided to do 3 this time just because 5 was a bit of hard work last time, so I think 3 is very manageable. But these stories are set in the Voyager-era, I suppose. They're not set on Voyager, but they're in the Voyager era. And the first story is called Beyond the Sun. And we hope to start shooting that in February, late February, early March.
This is very cool. So 3 fan films this year, produced and released this year, or definitely produced this year?
Oh, I would like to get them all done this year. I've already got a plan for the second one, and I haven't thought about the third one yet. But yeah, it would be cool. Depending on what happens for me during the year work-wise, I would love to do all 3, but we shall see. But definitely one, and it's called Beyond the Sun, and we'll start shooting that soon.
Hey, can you give us a bit of a tease of what this one's about?
Basically, a routine sort of rescue mission to save a group of pilgrims opens up a moral quandary between faith and science for the crew of a particular ship, and there's one crew member in particular who sort of can't stand by and has to intervene. So it's a bit like 30 Days from Voyager, where Tom Paris gets reprimanded for an action that he takes. But yeah, and this story was inspired by, I was sitting at work. I was also doing, apart from my normal job, which is in marketing and filmmaking, I was also taking on admin work as well. So I was sitting there one day bored out of my mind, and I thought about this story. And this one's more like a traditional like Star Trek with a moral type story. So we're exploring the relationship between faith and science and I guess the idea in Star Trek that they've got this prime directive and they can't interfere in the affairs of another culture, and what that, I guess, kind of ethically and morally, how that sits with somebody to sort of take a step back when they know something might not be right.
Well, with your 5 Enterprise-era fan films, they all had a bit of an overarching storyline that was resolved in the fall of Starbase One. Is there going to be something similar here with the 3-episode arc, or are they standalones?
They're probably going to be standalones. I haven't really thought about doing an arc this time. I think the arc made sense because Enterprise had an arc, whereas because like what I'm interested in doing is producing shows that are of that era, and I don't really think Voyager had an arc per se, so they will probably just be standalone stories. But we want to like light at the same. The set design is going to be similar to Voyager. It's about capturing that mood of that show, basically.
And have your parents agreed to relinquish the garage once again?
They actually don't know about this.
Surprise, Mum and Dad! So
when it gets to a month before shooting and I say, Mum, I need you to make some mock undershirts for the Voyager overalls, she'll know then.
Or she'll be watching this show. She'll be
That's true,
searching for your name on YouTube.
Do you know what? She'll probably see it from this.
That is brilliant. I just love how you go about making the fan films, coming out to the set of Starbase One. Just incredible to see what you can do in that double garage. Is just brilliant, and the set storage as well out on your back patio. I should actually ask: are those Enterprise sets still there?
No, they're gone. So once we finished Line of Duty, I actually did keep just enough set pieces to do a 6th film. I was going to adapt a short film that I did, but I just couldn't crack the script. And I guess the final nail in the coffin was pulling apart those sets and saying, like, no, that's enough. Like, we don't need to do any more. Like, it's okay.
Well, you needed to do more. You just didn't want to do
it. To be honest, I guess the reason why I stopped was, and the reason why I'm only doing 3 is because I really felt like there was a period, and I feel like it was a year, that we did the Derelict, Good Men, and Fall of Starbase One in a fairly short space of time. And I really felt the burnout, and I needed a year gap to then do Line of Duty. And Line of Duty, I threw everything I could at it, set-wise, costume-wise, script-wise. We had more actors than we'd had before, more sets and locations and costumes and props and things like that. And it was very taxing. So the time between now and then, I think, has been enough to sort of want to do it again, rather than feeling like you have to do it again.
And being confined, WA was pretty lucky, but being confined with a pandemic looming over the community, and you're sort of changing the way you sort of live a little bit, recharges the batteries. It's funny, we both haven't stopped through the pandemic with work, but we've been very lucky in that regard. But not sure about you, but I certainly have felt a bit of a recharging, a re-energising of our hobbies to do them even bigger and better.
Yeah, I think when you lose the ability to do something, when you can't go out and make a film and stuff, it makes you want to do it. So I also feel like that it's almost like you because you're stuck, you just want to get out and do something, and that's definitely what I felt like. I bashed out 2 scripts over like a week during a sort of bad part of the pandemic, and that first script I probably would have done had we not been in this situation. And to be honest, thinking back about it, I probably still could have shot some short films. In fact, I did, not Star Trek ones, but I did shoot short films while this is going on. Because again, in WA, we're very lucky, can still make films. So yeah, I kind of wished I actually did take up the initiative to do some Star Trek films. But at the same time, you're worried that next week everything's going to fall back in on itself and you won't be able to go out and you have to cancel your plans. And when you spend money on hiring locations and paying actors and crew and stuff, you kind of worry that it might all be for nothing.
Yeah, there's just that looming threat over your head where, and it's funny, you know, like we especially Trekzone, 7 days a week this year, that was an idea born out of the pandemic. New fan films born out of the pandemic, for everyone that we're going to chat to this month. I think that it's just been, as you said, that thing where, because we really haven't had the certainty to be able to do it, we've wanted to do it even more, and it's sort of carried through for us. So really interesting to hear that everyone that we're chatting to this month has projects on the horizon, and for you especially, Aaron, I know that you were very adamant when we were over in Perth that this is it, the 5 episodes is it, not doing any more. It always just sucks you back in, doesn't it? There's just something about it, you know. Star Trek fan film can't make money, can't really promote it to the hill, as it were, but there's just something about them, isn't it, that keeps you drawing in.
Yeah, and I also think, to be honest, the time that I did the last one, I'm not sure whether Discovery was out. It might have just started, but we've had Picard, we've had Lower Decks. There's so much Star Trek content, and it kind of inspires you to do something and to contribute to something. And especially when you see something and you're like, I probably could have done something different there, or I probably could have done that better, or I wish they'd gone this way. Like it genuinely inspires you, and I think we've been very fortunate. Especially this year, that there actually has been so much Star Trek content, that we've had 3 seasons of 3 different shows. Like it's incredible. So yeah.
And something that's never happened in our lifetimes.
True.
Well, Aaron, behind the scenes, you have the cast locked in. We don't want to spoil anything just yet. Going to leave that for your Facebook followers and Twitter followers as well. People should find you on social media to keep up to date with the very latest of what's happening on the production. But of course, come back to Trekzone for the exclusives that you're going to give us through the year as these productions happen.
Absolutely. Well, there's 3 of them, so I got to go somewhere.
Exactly right. Aaron, love catching up with you. Happy New Year, man. Looking forward to staying in touch this year as you return to the fan film journey.
Yes, watch out. Thanks, Matt.